Hi, everyone. My name is Jason from Camps with Friends. And in today's video, Mitch Goldman from Camp Chateaugay up in New York is joining us. I think probably not from your camp location, right, Mitch? You're back home?
No, we are coming to you from the home office in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Camp Chateaugay and your involvement and how you came to do what you're doing?
Sure. I like to joke with people that because my mother was a camper and I was a camper, and now that I own the place, I really haven't gone very far in life. So, no, we are located on this absolutely pristine and beautiful mountain lake in the Adirondack Park in New York State. So it's just the beauty and the pristine nature of our facility is second to none, in my opinion. So that's a really great, unique selling feature is that we're on this gorgeous big lake in a very remote part of New York State, and you have bald eagles and you have all kinds of wildlife that you can see, and it's just breathtakingly beautiful.
Yeah. And tell us a little more about your camp. How old is the camp? And yeah, go for it.
Sure. So Camp Chateaugay was started in 1946 by Aaron and Lil Rose, who were a couple that really wanted to create a safe and beautiful outdoor environment where children could just be children. And you have to remember that this is in the wake of World War II. So many of the campers that were joining Camp Chateaugay in 1946 were the children of refugees from Europe. So you had, the owners were just looking for a beautiful, safe environment in which children could have an experience where they got to play and have fun and figure out what they were into. And I really think that we still share those same values.
That's great. That's great. Talking about this, we're filming this in September 2024. So you're fresh off of the back of active summer. How was it?
We had an incredible summer this year. It was filled with laughter and fun and growth. And one of the things that really excites me about doing what I do and running a summer camp is that you can see the children actually learning life skills. Sure, they can come to camp and they can learn to water ski or learn to play tennis or learn to throw a pot in ceramics. However, the thing that really gets me excited is when I see them growing with their self-confidence and their resilience and their independence, where they can actually, they can be in charge of the fun that they're having in life. And that, that's something they can take wherever they go for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Talking about some of those great activities, what are some of the things that kids can do? What are the most popular things for kids to do at Camp Chateaugay?
Yeah, we are known as a traditional summer camp, which means that you have a wide variety of activities, everything from land sports like soccer and tennis to water sports like water skiing and sailing to arts like ceramics or woodworking, or something that we have that not a lot of other camps have is an actual soft glass blowing program.
Oh, wow.
So we have a furnace where there's molten glass in there and the kids get to blow, blow glass, whether it is a cup or some kind of a trinket. That's pretty cool. But what they do is they come here and they have a variety of different activities they can choose from and learn from anywhere from a beginner to somebody who's more experienced in those activities.
That's really great. Your camp is it a week-long camp? Is it a 2-week, a 4-week? Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, we are a session camp where we have 2 3.5-week sessions or a full summer. So full summer is 7 weeks. Campers can come for 7 weeks, 3.5 weeks, or if it's their first time and they just want to give it a try, we have what we call our first time camper program, which is the first 2 weeks of either the first session or the second session. And the thing that's really great about that is that if families are having some trepidation about coming to camp, they try it out for 2 weeks. If they have a good experience, they really like it, they can extend to the rest of the session, or they can end at 2 weeks and say, you know what, this is a successful first summer. Let's come back again next year.
Is that something that the traditional sleepaway summer camps are kind of getting into now? Is it sort of harder to get kids out to summer camps, or is it harder to get parents to let the kids stay away for that long? I've kind of, when I've been speaking to different summer camp directors and owners, a lot of them seem to be going to that, hey, we're going to do a 1 week session for the kids that are first timers or apprehensive from going away from home. And sometimes it's the parents too, right? Is that something that you've seen as well?
I have seen. Well, let me start again by saying I think it really depends on what the family is looking for. My personal belief is that 1 week at summer camp really is not enough time for the child to have that incredible separation from their parents, which becomes so valuable as a life skill. The independence that they foster is really dependent on them being away from home for more than just a week. That being said, in today's era of doing just about everything you can from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, there are a lot of families that have such full and busy lives that 2 weeks is just about all the time that they can schedule to have their kids away. I think that 3.5 weeks is an ideal time, a full summer, even better. But we are seeing that there's a lot of families that they like to travel. They have sports programs with school. So a full summer just isn't realistic for them.
Yeah.
So I do think that a half summer it will fit for those families better.
Yeah. But there are still a lot of summer camps that are like 5 or 8 week programs, right?
There are, especially when you get close to metropolitan areas. There are a lot of where there's a density in population. You see a lot of camps that will only do 7 weeks,
yeah,
or 8 weeks. But that's not, we are a camp that likes to give the flexibility to the families because we know it's a busy world out there.
Yeah, yeah. Down here in Texas, we're a 1 week camp kind of town, right? The whole concept of sending your kids away for 3.5 weeks or 8 weeks is completely foreign to us. And so it's the more I learn about the summer camp industry and that whole it's the way that it's been done for 100 years, right?
Yeah, well, I think there's some real value to having your children go away and be away from their parents. Now, as a parent myself, it's very hard for me to be away from my kids. However, I do know that the value that they get when there's some separation between us and them physically, where they're not physically close to me and my wife, they really get to think for themselves. And that's one of the big values of going away to a residence camp program, is where they're going to be away. They're not going to be influenced by, maybe I shouldn't go and try playing the piano because my mother said when we were little that she didn't like the piano, or, my father said this. And next thing you know, they're at summer camp and they find an activity that their parents never really liked or overtly supported, and they get into it, and it ends up being something that they really, really enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is very cool. Talking about, so we've spoken a little bit about your facility, your location, about your involvement, about how this past summer camp. Are there any changes that you're looking to make for the summers to come that you've maybe from lessons that you learned this summer?
Changes in the future for lessons.
Or is the system working and we're going to keep doing it that way?
It's funny. I acquired the camp just over 2 years ago. So, and I'm still very close with the previous ownership. It's taken a couple years just to create the vision that I have for Camp Chateaugay. And what I'm really excited about and what I can see us continuing to grow is that aspect of life skills that kids get, whether they're learning to be more resilient in their life or learning to be in charge of their own fun. Those are skills that I have valued as a grown-up, that I've learned along the way. And I learned a lot of those at Camp Chateaugay when I was a camper. So I really want to continue that tradition of empowering children. So, we also not only empowering children, but empowering the staff that work for us. We have an incredible training program. I'm training my staff for 2 weeks prior to the kids even getting there, and they're getting life skills. The staff, we do a training on how to plunge a toilet. So you have like an 18 to 22-year-old this may be their first job, and they may not know how to do that type of stuff. Their parents might have always done it for them. Yeah. So it's not just a place where we're empowering children, we're empowering young adults as well.
Yeah. Talking a little bit about camp counselors, I know that it's a difficult topic because from a lot of the summer camp owners that I've spoken to, they've said that finding quality camp counselors is quite a hard thing to do. Are you in that same kind of boat every year, struggling to find the right people?
I don't think it's a struggle. I think you have to do the work and you have to know where to look. So there are a couple of different places you can look to find really exceptional young people. One is at the colleges and universities in the US. If you go to these camp fairs they have, and just really get your name out there and show them what you have for them to value.
Yep.
You know, it really attracts them. If you're very clear about what the offering is to them, the counselor, then you'll definitely attract them.
Yeah.
Also, there are so many amazing programs through the J1 visa program that, you know, this is a cultural exchange program that the US does with other countries. So in order to get a visa, these agencies are vetting so many highly skilled individuals from other countries that are coming here. As long as you're really on, I mean, we're here second week in September and we're already staffed for probably 2/3 of our staff for next summer.
Oh, wow. How many, if you don't mind me asking, how many people do you of these camp counselors, how many people do you employ every year?
Yeah, this year we had 164 staff, of which about 80 were bunk counselors.
Oh, wow.
Then you have others that are called head staff, and those are the area directors who are leading those different areas like water skiing or tennis or basketball. And then you also have what we call our senior staff, and those are the senior leadership. They have decades of experience teaching and working at Camp Chateaugay. And then you also have your what is called support staff, and those are the people that are doing the cleaning and the cooking and the laundry, all that stuff. So out of all of those different categories, we have about 164 staff last summer.
Wow. That's so you're quite the organizer of people.
Yeah. I mean, the more organized you are, the more flexible you can be, and the more freedom you actually have, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. Mitch, I know that you folks are quite big on social media. What are your main channels? Because I know that when parents start looking for these types of things, or even summer camp directors and these counselors, when they're looking for stuff, they may find you in a Google search. They may find an article on one of our websites. They then go to your Instagram or TikTok to find out more, or vice versa. They find you on social media and then they go doing research in other places. But what are those channels that are easiest to find you on? What are your favorite social media channels, and what's your handle?
Yeah, I think it depends on what age you are and what you're looking for. But with our campers, they're almost exclusively on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they love the TikTok feed. They love, the fun content that we have. We have all kinds of tests and challenges and games that they can play on TikTok. And also we do get a lot of bunk counselors through TikTok where they find our content. But
right.
if it's parents, definitely Facebook is big for parents, as well as Instagram. Okay. But we have two accounts. We really have an account that's dedicated for our campers and our camp families, and then we have an account that's tailored for our staff and our alumni.
Awesome. And then obviously everyone can find you at campchateaugay.com.
It's actually just Chateaugay.com. Campchateaugay.com will get there, but Chateaugay.com will get you there too.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Mitch, thank you very much for having this chat with me. I look forward to editing the content and getting it out on our blogs and our YouTube channel and our social media channels as well. Sadly, I do not have the time for TikTok.
Me either.
But,
I think I have one video on there, and it was when my second daughter was born.
Fun. But yeah.
Well, thanks, Jason. Yeah, I love what you're doing. And,
I'm gonna just stop the recording, and then we can kind of finish up after that.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everyone.